and talk about the NPP, and we are told that the flag bearer of the party, President Kufuor, is scheduled to have a press conference today to address some of the pressing issues happening in the party. Some of the things happening today, he's expected to brief the press on that and call for calm. Okay, but before then, 2 people have been injured in a clash between a group calling itself the Invisible Forces, a self-styled security force of the New Patriotic Party, and some youth believed to be supporters of party chairman Paul Afoko at the headquarters of the party on Thursday. Now, the incident is believed to be the latest in the ongoing turmoil within the ranks of the country's main opposition party. Joy News' Derek Ekosam reports a police rapid response deployment team had to be deployed to bring the situation under control.
Vehicles belonging to the Ghana Police Service were seen patrolling the area around the party's headquarters. This was after the clash between the Invisible Forces and some youth who are said to be supporters of party chairman Paul Afoko had left 2 people injured. The youth, after retreating from the headquarters, vowed to forcibly remove the Invisible Forces if they failed to vacate the premises.
That's what we will think now, if that's what they want. And we give them 24 hours. After 24 hours, anything can happen. And we are ready. We are ready.
Serious. We make what? Wallahi, we make what? See, we don't talk. I will tell you something. Wallahi.
We want them to leave the chairman and the secretary general to do their work, because they were voted in, they weren't unpicked. They were voted by the delegates. We came a lost complaint because we are capable of attacking them ourselves. But to prevent all this, we are coming to report to the police before we storm them.
The Invisible Forces have also indicated they have no intentions of abandoning the headquarters. Though they wouldn't speak on camera, one of their leaders tells me they will secure the building till a solution is found to the turmoil. As was the case on Tuesday, no journalist was allowed entry. The police, numbering about 50, wielded arms and were in protective gear, ready to curb further attacks. From the NPP headquarters here in Accra, Derek Ekosam for Joy News.
Well, the Ghana Police Service has meanwhile launched an investigation into claims made against the Invisible Forces. Public Relations Officer of the Ghana Police, Superintendent Seif Azata, spoke to newsmen after the clash at the NPP headquarters here in Accra.
I wouldn't term it a clash as you called it. I would say that around 1:30, some youth, numbering about 20-30, came here. You know, already we have some police presence here, and they tried to enter the headquarters of the party, and the police prevented them from entering. And so the police was able to disperse them. In brief, that is exactly what happened. And you know, there is also a security presence apart from the police security. The party have their own security in the premises. And as the youth were trying to enter, they also came out with the intention of warding them off. But then the police was there, so the police managed to disperse the crowd and maintain law and order. Definitely, when incidents like this happen, the police need to investigate. So we shall do it. So the police will proceed to the Nima police station to conduct the investigation, to find out, so that it can facilitate our investigation.
The internal disagreements within the NPP has now officially crept into Parliament, dividing the front of the party's minority MPs. Now, on Wednesday, the minority leader, Osechi Mensah-Bonsu, in a signed letter addressed to the party's National Council, the National Executive Committee and the National Chairman and the General Secretary expressed a united minority position, asking Paul Afoko and Kwabena J. to step aside. Now, it's emerging the decision was never on the agenda at the caucus meeting, and some members are questioning the motive of their leader.
So any statement that was written that was to be made public, that the minority caucus, including myself, had taken a decision that we have chanced upon the police investigations, and Mrs. Afoko and Kwame Japan have been implicated. And until I see that the due process has implicated him one way or the other, for me, it becomes very difficult to take a position one way or the other. In other words, I would like to see the facts and the evidence pointing to their involvement. And now Kufuor is working around the clock to make sure that peace prevails. And all his statements has indicated clearly that he wants peace. And he himself said, Addo, let us all get together and move in the direction of peace. Similarly, President Kufuor is outside, right? He's been having consultations with other party members. And I will not suggest that he hasn't also put his foot down.
Well, former President Kufuor has also cautioned members of the New Patriotic Party against what he calls criminal accusations in the media. Now, this, he says, only serves to further divide their ranks and allow detractors to infiltrate. Now, in a statement issued Thursday from Rome, the former president reiterated the need for calm and circumspection in dealing with the worrying happenings within the party. Now, following the death of its Upper East Regional Chairman Adams Mahama, he said the death of Adams Mahama should be used to unite the party and not tear it apart. One suspect is standing trial for the murder, while another is on the run. Former President Kufuor appealed that the national investigative system that has already taken charge of the process should be allowed to work rather than the party preempting the outcome. Well, let's have a brief discussion on this. Malik Dabo is with our political desk here at Joy News. He joins me in studio now for a discussion on this particular one, on the latest happenings in the party. You know, Malik, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good morning.
So, a lot seem to have happened in the party, in the NPP, I'm saying, over the past few weeks. What do you think could be the trigger for all these?
Of course, the biggest trigger is suspicion. You know that before the NPP went to elect its national officers, there were suggestions that the flag bearer had his favorite, and of course, he was entitled to have those favorites anyway. It was suggested, even though this suggestion was rebuffed, it was suggested that the flag bearer didn't support a focus bid for the chairmanship, and he rather supported, that was an allegation anyway, which was not supported by any facts, but it was said that he was supporting Fred Owari and not Paul Afoko. He was not supporting the General Secretary who won, which is Kwame Japan. Now, following their elections, you would remember that the first actions that the General Secretary took, i.e. the removal of the security persons at the party headquarters and the changing of persons who were deputy communications directors of the party. These things deepened that suspicion because the pro-Nana people felt that this was a calculated attempt by the General Secretary to sideline persons who were perceived to be loyal to the flag bearer. And of course, you would expect that once a flag bearer is elected, everybody will be loyal to the flag bearer. But these allegations were there, and his own actions, because the party's constitution required that he ought to have engaged in consultation before those changes would have been made. It was only after he consulted that the changes will be supported by the steering committee of the party. You know that the steering committee of the party is responsible for the day-to-day management of the party. Now, because of the failure to consult, this decision was opposed. And because the decision was opposed, and you remember that he had to call a press conference, read provisions of the Constitution to say that he was mandated by the Constitution to take those actions and to take those decisions and remove those people and replace them with people. That was not accepted. So they had to go back, meet, deliberate on the matters, and then they reappointed those people. So the decision he took were reversed. And of course, I think he wasn't happy with the reversal of those decisions. But that singular act served to further poison the environment within the governing party. And you also know that he and the chairman and the rest of the executive didn't really go along. But I think things got to a head when there was a steering committee that was held before, just a day before the party vetted its parliamentary aspirants. There was a meeting. The chairman wasn't in town, the general secretary didn't attend that meeting, and you remember the famous I'm eating fufu in Kumasi.
Yeah.
Now, when that meeting was held, there were issues. We reported those issues, that he wasn't there. We called him up. He said he wasn't there. He was eating fufu. And you know what followed? There were disagreements here and there. He came back to Accra. He granted OKFM interviews, denying some of the things that we said on air, which were recorded in an interview. Be that as it may, they tried to patch up things. Then a week after, they traveled to Bolga. They got to Bolga. We know the story. There were allegations that the chairman at the time, Adams Mahama, frustrated or scattered a meeting that was called by the chairman and the general secretary. This meeting, I am told, was not sanctioned by the party, at least the steering committee of the party or the other executive. So it was only the chairman and and in fact, I had information about this meeting before, because I had information that some people some of the party people were mobilizing to oppose the meeting in that region. Okay. But, well, there was nothing I could do. I didn't play any role. Then it played out, as was suggested. They went to the place, the meeting didn't happen. The allegation was that it was Chairman Adams who frustrated their attempts to hold that meeting. So they left. The police intervened. They settled the matter. They left and moved on to Upper West region. A few days after, I think a week afterwards, we woke up one morning to this dastardly, callous act of acid being poured on the party chairman. He died hours after that incident. I think that the happenings in the party, all these calls for the general secretary and the party chairman to step aside, has been a long time coming. Because if you look at the deep-seated suspicion in the party, the allegation that the party chairman and the general secretary are engineering a loss of the presidential candidate in 2016 in order that it can pave way for them to bring their preferred candidate in 2020. It's a real argument. And those who support Addo believe that these two people's stay in the party can only serve to divide the party, that they will not take actions that will unite the party and actions that will be geared towards winning power in 2016.
I see. Now, Malik, let me ask this. You know, you mentioned the calls for impeachment or for these two national executives to step aside. There have been numerous calls, quite a number of them, and many have called on the party leadership, former President Kufuor, for instance, and the flag bearer to intervene, to step in and, well, calm the waters. Now, we are told today Nana Addo Dankwa will be addressing the media. What is he likely to say? And what kind of impacts is it likely to have on this whole chaos in the NPP?
I think, first of all, he has refrained from speaking on the matter publicly. And the press conference, the press statement we had last week, reacting to a Daily Graphic publication in which he was alleged to have supported or subtly endorsed the meetings by the regional caucuses of the party, at which meetings they called on the two gentlemen to step aside. He reacted to it. Apart from that, he has refrained from speaking on the matter. I think what we will hear this morning, if it does happen, and I believe it will, is he will call for calm, consistent with what former President Kufuor did. I believe there are things that he would have loved to say that he will not say for strategic purposes.
Things like what?
Things like the real happenings. Things like actions that he believes that the party chairman and the general secretary have taken that do not help the cause of the party as a corporate entity.
So from what you say, is it possible that the flag bearer of the party possibly could be aware of some of these things and is possibly behind some of these happenings in the party?
It will be difficult for him to be behind some of the things. And my response to it is that there were those who said that the flag bearer ought to have stopped the regional meetings. And how could he have stopped the regional meetings? The regional party executive and the regional chairman have as much stake in the party as the flag bearer. So if those people who take the decisions at their regional, remember that politics is local. These are local people in their various constituencies and regions who determine what happens there. If those people who have as much stake in the party as the flag bearer decide that they are going to hold meetings, the flag bearer who does not have power and authority to call any meeting cannot cannot tell them, don't hold your meetings.
Malik, please hold on. I'll come back to you pretty shortly, briefly. Let me go on to the phone lines now and speak to David Imay. He's the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. Joins us now over the telephone with much more on this. Let's have a brief discussion on this. So, Mr. Imay, good morning. Thanks for joining us on News Desk. Now,
yes, good morning.
You're part of the many who were saying that, you know what, the flag bearer ought to intervene. He needs to say something. Today, we are told he's going to be holding a press conference. What are you expecting him to say?
Yes, the first question that I will like to ask Addo this morning is to find out whether he just wants to be a leader or he wants to be a hero. I mean, if he wants to be an ordinary leader, yes, he can be. Every man is a leader. But if he wants to be a hero, then he has to exercise, a certain level of, maturity in terms of handling the happenings in NPP as it is now. We want to see Nana Addo Akufo-Addo as a matured politician. We want to see Nana Addo, showing a sign of, a political leader who is visible out there to ensure that he'll be able to calm everybody down. He is looking for an opportunity to serve this country. He wants to be a president of this country. I don't think that Paul Afoko wants to become a president as we speak. I don't think that Kobere Japan wants to become a president as we speak. I don't think that Mr. Kojo Mpieni wants to become president as we speak. It is Nana Addo who wants to become a president. So as a presidential candidate, your actions need to be very visible. And you need to stand more reconciliatory. You need to be able to bring everybody under you such that you can achieve what you want to achieve. But if your actions, your demeanor, your characteristics is not into the fact that you want to demonstrate yourself to your followers that you have been appointed as a presidential material, then you could be doing what is happening now. And so one would believe, or one would have accepted that Nana Addo, after becoming victorious, after being elected as presidential candidate, Nana Addo should have been coordinating. You should have been liaising with Paul Afoko. You should have been liaising with Kobere Japan.
Should it not rather be the other way around? Should it not rather be Paul Afoko and Kobere Japan rather trying to liaise with him, particularly after all the things that had gone on before the elections and even during the elections?
I understand where you are coming from. That it is Kobere Japan, Paul Afoko, who should have been doing the coordination of activities. But at the end of the day, who is looking for the seat of the presidency?
I see.
I mean, as a leader, one critical thing that Nana Addo needs to bear in mind is the fact that there are certain situations that there are certain groups within your own family that at a point in time your mother will not like to greet this kind of people. But because you assume the position as a leader, you need to bring all those people together. So take it for instance that Paul Afoko, Kobere Japan, and co. They do not want you to become president. What do you need to do? What do you need to table to be able to bring all those people together so that you can achieve your aim?
I see.
So as a smart leader, as a political leader, you need to ensure that even your enemies, you bring them under you so that you could earn their respect, you could be able to control them because you'll be able to, tap into their knowledge. So we want to see that level of maturity coming from Nana Addo.
Many have said that Nana Addo is expected to also call for calm, just like some other persons have done.
Not an ordinary calm.
Okay.
Not that historic, calm.
You think he needs to do more than that? He needs to do something beyond that.
He needs to exhibit a certain leadership characteristic.
What specifically do you think he should do?
You see, now, going for the press conference, what Nana Addo needs to do, if I were him, I would suggest to him that he should be able to bring Kobere Japan, Paul Afoko, call on ex-President Kufuor, Mr. Kojo Mpieni, all the dignitaries in NPP. Call them together, organize a meeting, share ideas with President Kufuor. How do we handle this matter? You are the first successful president as far as Dankwa Buzia tradition is concerned. What do you need to do? What is your stake in the party? President Kufuor has a strong followers in the party. Likewise, Addo has a strong followers in the party, and this is creating division. This is creating panic within the political arena. So Addo should be able to point to those people, call on them, such that he can sit down well with those people, dine with them, share ideas with them, and see how best he can prosecute his agenda. But as we speak now, we are not seeing that semblance of a leader. We are not seeing that sign. We are seeing a seed of, more like, let's, alienate all President Kufuor's faction from Rejapon Paula Foko's faction. But I'm looking for a leadership position. I'm looking for the seat of president. So what do I need to do to be able to bring those people under me?
Mr. Agbe,
if I were Addo, that is the action that I will be able to, put on the table.
Mr. Agbe, let me ask, at this point, do you think this particular press conference just about to happen, do you think it would be prudent, I don't know whether or not it has already been done, but do you think it would be prudent for instance, Addo Kufuor to send out invitations to the party chairman and general secretary, Paula Foko and Kwabena Japan, to be present at this particular press conference?
Yes, it will not be prudent. But my understanding was that yesterday, Paula Foko, Kwabena Japan, they were all in Kumasi here.
Okay.
Just trying to destabilize the camp of Addo Kufuor because they believe that Ashanti region, if they are able to get a very reasonable or sizable number who can side with Addo, then they will be able to, come away, victorious of styling President Kufuor's camp or Alain Fermanti or whoever that they call it.
Okay.
But I think that what Addo needs to do now is to tell every member of NPP that what they are doing, they are not doing something that is showing a sense of, democracy.
Okay. All right. Mr. Agbe, thank you very much for your time on News Desk. That was David Agbe. He's the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security there. Look, Malik, you heard him. He's a governance expert, and these are the things he's proposing. What do you make of that?
I have serious challenges with some of the views he was expressing. First of all, he makes the point that Addo has to demonstrate leadership. He hasn't demonstrated or exhibited strong leadership. What is it that Addo has done?
Okay, the understanding I got from what he said was that he needs to go beyond all the other calls by people, everybody saying, okay, we are calling for calm, we are calling for calm. He needs to do something beyond that.
He makes a rather strange suggestion that Addo is making an effort to eliminate all the people who are believed to be loyalists of Kufuor. What is the basis for that suggestion? I think that in all of this, there has been some strenuous efforts to lay the blame squarely on Addo. I think that it's unfair, it is wrong, it's unreasonable, it is not on the basis of any facts, because if you talk to party people, they will tell you strenuous efforts that the flag bearer has made, because he himself says that it is he who wants to be president. So sometimes things he ordinarily should not accept, this man has accepted as part of efforts to bring everybody on board and to ensure that you have a united front going into next year's election, which is his last attempt at the presidency. So I do not think that it is fair to him or even to the commentators to suggest that he hasn't made efforts to unite the people. It is precisely the reason he hardly speaks publicly on these matters. He hardly speaks. What he has done, if you talk to party people, is behind the scenes try to get everybody on board. Call Mustafa Hamid. Mustafa Hamid will tell you, his aide to Addo, he will tell you, I won't speak. You call all the people who are very close to Addo, call Gabi. Gabi will tell you, I will not speak. All the people who are very close to the man have been counseled, wisely if you ask me, to avoid speaking on this matter, because the more you speak, the more you stoke the fires. They have refrained from doing so. I think we should give him credit that, first of all, the structure of the party's constitution is such that he does not have power to call meetings. It's the chairman of the party, the national chairman, whose mandate it is to call meetings. So if you expect that the flag bearer is going to call meetings and invite everybody, he doesn't have the authority to do so.
I see.
He does not have it.
Malik, thank you very much for that. That's Malik Dabu, my colleague here at Joint Issues with our political desk. And remember, once again, we are going to be bringing you live feed from the headquarters of the New Patriotic Party as the flag bearer of the party prepares to, well, address some of the issues that have been bedeviled with the party over the past few weeks or so. We're taking a break here. We'll be back shortly with more. Stay with us.